Hey folks, this is Tracy with Scrappy's Rustics. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your own mold. This is so cool. Y'all, this is a lengthy video. A lot of it is not sped up. It's in real time just to show you the process itself. So grab yourself a drink, some popcorn, whatever, settle in. If this is your fancy and you want to know how to make a 3-day mold, check this out. And I will tell you, this is the very first time I have ever done this. So I did make mistakes, but by those mistakes, I knew what not to do and what to do the next time I do it. And I did it a second time. And let me tell you what, it came out perfect. So this is, I bought 3 different mold kits. So far, I've used 2 of them. This one is amazing. I believe this is Amazing Casting, Amazing brand as well. This is the best one so far because it was very simple to work with and the dry time was so fast. The other one that I used, it took like 36 hours before I could demold it. So you want to do 50-50. Y'all, that is like a wicked red, huh? I mean, that is like candy apple red like I've ever seen it. It's almost neon red. So I'm just using plastic cups because I don't have any other cups large enough. I put a little marker, magic marker mark, which isn't too accurate. You can weigh this as well to make sure you're even. It is important to make sure you get these as even as possible for the best results. So I pour 50% or half and half the red, half the white, half the A, half the B, into each cup, and we're going to marry them back into 1 cup and mix them until they are one color. That is when you know it is done. These things are very thick, so it does take a little while and some scraping to get it all out of the cup. But again, you want to make sure you can get them as equal as possible when doing this. And you want to make sure you stir them long enough, read your directions to whatever kind you do purchase, and just go by what they tell you to do. Some require, 3 full minutes of mixing. I do think your environment matters. A lot of times when it's hotter, it's warmer, everything sets up quicker. When it's colder, it takes a little longer. So there are some environmental things that also come into effect. Should you be wearing gloves and whatnot? Probably, yeah, but I'm not. I'm going rogue here. Going rogue. So I'm going to scrape both cups the best I can, and I'm going to mix them together. What I did learn is when I did this one, it came out pretty good. But what I should have done is because I was trying to think, how's this going to work? When I laid my piece in, I was afraid it was going to float to the bottom and it's going to poke through the bottom and then I'm going to have a hole. And that's exactly what happened. So in hindsight, my next time, I poured a thin layer and I let it set up a little while. And so that way I had a little barrier so I could put my piece in and then pour around it, and it totally fix the issue. I've bought some new tools since to make this whole process a little easier. I was so excited to use this. I just had this pencil box and that's what I decided to use. It is better if you have the molds that actually release. There's lots of different tools that you can buy that will make this process easier, and I have done that, and there will be new videos coming out using those new tools. This works as well. You could use even like a milk carton or half and half carton. Anything you can like kind of peel away is your better option. But I didn't have any of that at the time. So I'm just pouring again. So here's my thinking. I'm going to pour a little bit, and then that way my piece that I'm putting in will sit on it, but it didn't. It sunk. I mean, it didn't sink all the way. But as I made a couple of castings, it pulled the little thin layer of mold, whatever this stuff's called. I can't think of the name of it. It ended up pulling it away, so I had to make a new one because when I poured the resin, it was leaking through that little hole. So I'm using this spool, and there's a reason behind this. I have been trying for years. I'm telling you years, and I don't know how many spindles I've ruined. I have tried to cut a spindle in half, perfectly, and I've had the hardest trouble doing it because it's round. I've tried different saws. A lot of the older woods are really hard, and I was never able to do it to perfect it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a mold of a half a spindle, and then that answers all my questions and solves all my problems. So as you can see, it will float around. So depending on what you put in here, it will float around. Again, since then, I've learned some tricks. I've bought some products that will help with this, but obviously all those that stuff isn't needed because I did do it without all of those things. It will just, having the right tools will just make the job a little bit easier. We did a 3D, we have a subscription, a paid subscription group. If you're interested in that, you're welcome to message me, or it's on our website at scrappyrustics.com. In the menu area, it's called Scrappy's Masterclass, Master Crew. And we do stuff like this, stuff I normally don't do, I would never do live, just different and intricate, deeper dive style techniques. So you're welcome to join us. We meet Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's just a good time. We've developed a family in there, and we're always open and welcome to have new members join us. So there it is. It's set up, and we did an actual 3D. See, that's how it poked through. So that's what I learned from the first one. And y'all, had a time getting this thing out, like because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't want to break it. I don't know if I should wait longer. It was really stuck in there. I thought, this thing ain't coming out. Now, if you had a breakaway mold where you could take that hard plastic off, I could have just popped it out. But, you know, again, this is my first time. But we made a 3D mold, like a whole 3D object in class, and of a cow head. It was a cow knob that I got from Hobby Lobby. And we replicated that, and we casted a new mold. So it was really cool. But this stuff here, does it say amazing? Yeah. So this particular mold maker here is really good. It's set up like really fast. We were able to make a mold and cast a mold all within one class. So that was pretty good. So I struggled with this for a while. I don't want you to make this mistake. So don't worry about being rough with it. Break that seal. Nothing's going to happen to that silicone. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. The silicone is so tough. Don't worry about it. Just you got to break the seal all the way around the edges, and that's what I learned for each piece, because it really grabs onto there. But once you break that seal, it comes right out. But I didn't know if I was going to like ruin the silicone. I just didn't know. And the funny part is, well, it's not really funny. It's kind of gross. But after I get this thing out, the silicone like took all the dirt and grunge off of this half a spindle. So when I casted my first resin piece, all the dirt and stuff was stuck to it. But it was kind of cool because the resin itself actually cleaned my mold out for me. So that was good. That was a happy accident. So I probably should have cut all of this nonsense out, because I didn't realize how long in the video. Oh, it's starting to rain. How long this is. So you can see there, I finally broke it away. Now I'm figuring it out. Now I just got to break it away around all the sides. And I do finally get it out. All right, I went and cut some of that out so you didn't have to watch me struggle. And here it comes, y'all. Brace it. Yay! I'm so happy. Y'all, I was sweating. Look at all the dirt in there. And see how you can see through it? So to solve that problem, just lay down or pour down, you know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch of your product first. It doesn't take long to set up. You'll see where it's no longer soupy, or it kind of moves. I guess it would depend on what product you buy as well. But with this, it's set up fairly quickly. So I just laid a layer down, and it solved my problem. It totally solved my problem. You can see the clean side of my spindle. So now I'm going to show you. I'm so anxious now that we're going to pour one. Like I couldn't stand it. I had to do it. So I thought, what the heck, I'm going to show you all while I'm doing it. So this is fast cast amazing resin. It sets up in 10 minutes. It's 50% part A, 50% part B. You want to be as accurate as possible. You can pour it 50%, half of it in, 2 separate cups, and then pour them in together. Whatever you want to do. I have no idea how much this needs, so I'm just kind of winging it. I pour mine all in the same cup. You want to stir them until it is clear. And I'm trying to see, because sometimes these cups, when they get older and you use them over and over, you can't see the lines anymore. So I was holding that up to the light. But this stuff gets warm too. So if it's getting warm as you're stirring it, it's time to go. It's time to pour, because your time is running out. My rule of thumb is I stir it. See how it's like cloudy? All of a sudden it'll just become clear. It might tell you to stir it for 2 minutes, but you don't have that long. The more you mix, the faster it sets up. The bigger your mold, the faster it sets up. So remember that. Sounds backwards, but that's how it is. So as soon as it's clear, go. Just go. Don't worry about scraping the sides and all that stuff. I don't do that. I don't. And when you get down to the bottom, or if your resin is older, it may not become crystal clear, but you can kind of just tell when it's no longer like cloudy. So I'm just pouring this in there. This is like, to me, this is huge because, like I said, I've been trying for so long to make a half a spindle, like a decent half a spindle. I'm spinning it because my tray, my table is a little bit off. If you're pouring resin, you want to make sure you're on a flat surface because it will definitely, water is going to gravitate to the lowest point. So, not water, but liquid. So if you're pretty crooked, your pores not your casting's not going to come out too well. So just keep that in mind if you need to shim. You can always pour water in your molds to begin with, if if you're not sure how much you need to mix and you want to mix exact, but then you got to wait for it to dry. But always have another mold beside you. You don't want to waste this resin. It's not cheap. Oh, we sell resin on the website now, guys. Yay, this stuff fast cast. Scrappy'srustics.com. So check that out. I have a very competitive price because I know this stuff is expensive. I'm not looking to make a killing. I'm just looking for convenience for y'all. So keep another mold or two on the side. That way, like, you don't, oh, I'm running off now to go get me another mold, because I don't want to waste that stuff. It's expensive, and sooner or later it's okay. You can fill up the same mold 5-6 times. Look at that one. I'm just pouring all my excess off on that one, and you'll never know it. When it's full and you go to pull it out, you'll never know that it was, poured 10 times. It just, which is great, right? Because you don't want to waste this stuff. That's a Santa face. He's really cool. And I think that's a bird, that one I'm tapping. Just want to make sure there's no air bubbles in there and whatnot. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool process. So we're going to wait for this to turn white, and then there it goes. Look, isn't it crazy? The bigger the mold, the faster it sets up, the hotter it gets. You would think it's like the complete opposite, but it's not. It's not. I was wanting to stick a peg in this bird so I could use him for a bottle top. I saw Marrow, the Vintage Retail Therapy, do that, but this bird had already set up on me. I couldn't stick the wood in there. So I was like, okay, whatever. So we're all set up now. It has cured, and this is the first time I'm popping it out. So now I'm thinking, oh, geez, how am I going to get this thing out? How am I going to get this thing out? Now you can totally pop the acrylic, why I keep saying acrylic, the silicone mold out of the case. This is why a release one is your best bet. See, so the whole thing comes out. I'm showing you all of this detail in real time just because I want you to learn from my mistakes and know what to do next time, just like I did. When your resin is first set up, it's still pliable, so just be mindful of that. If you got to wait for it to harden up a little bit more, then do that. But it should ultimately just pop off like that on the sides. It'll still be warm. Look at all the dirt it picked up. So it cleaned up my mold. But I think it's kind of cool because now it just adds texture to the piece. And I cannot believe how awesome that is, you guys. I'm so excited about this. I hope it inspired you. I hope you learned something. I would love for you to follow, subscribe, like, share, do all the things. Turn on your notifications, smash that bell so you know when I upload new videos. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.